here from the Dark Imp, helping parents reclaim family time by playing board games together. Okay, today we're going to talk about city building games. City building is a really common theme for board games, and there are loads to choose from. I've got 4 to share with you today. Let's start with a little one, great for travelling. We just took this one on holiday. In fact, you can see it in our compilation video from a couple of weeks ago, the Dark Imp on holiday. This is Flip City. Flip City is a deck building game. So within the box there come, I think, 6 different card types, and you start with a basic hand of cards. You start with 1 of each type of card and 4 of the residential areas. So you've got residential area, and then you've got central park, you've got factory, office, hospital and convenience store. So you start with each of them, and they each have special abilities, and the residential area can catch you out. What you're trying to do is each turn you play a certain number of cards from the top of your deck onto the table in front of you. You're building up your city. And each card lets you do other things. So when you put the hospital down, you sadly gain a sad face here, but you also get a coin for every sad face you get. Now, residential areas also have sad faces on, and when you have 3 sad faces, you stop your go. You don't get to do anything. The game is about stopping just before you have to, seeing how many coins you can get out, how many things with coins on, without getting too many sad faces. So for example, the offices all have 1 coin on them and no sad faces. Then when you decide to stop, you can count up all the coins and purchase another card, and there'll be more cards of this type. So you're going to build up your deck. Now, as well as purchasing cards, you can also choose to flip cards. So instead of paying the money to purchase, you pay the money to flip. And all of these cards have different things on the back. So for example, on the back of the hospital is the church. On the back of the residential area is the apartment. These are going to give you better things. They're going to give you higher abilities, and they're going to take you closer to winning the game. There are 2 different ways to win the game. One is if you get 8 or more victory points face up on the table. So there are victory points here on Central Park, and on the flip side, the station, there are 3 victory point icons at the bottom. Or if you manage to get the convenience store in your city, and that's 1 of 18 cards. So you need 18 cards out before you bust on your sad faces. It's a simple, very easy to learn, quick to play and very easy to transport game. It's a deck builder, Flip City. Secondly, Havana. In Havana you're trying to rebuild Havana, and each player has their own set of identical to all the other players, identical cards. So they range in value from 0, oh some of them are upside down, 0 to 9. So 0, the power for 0 isn't great, it's not great at all. You just have a siesta, you rest. 1 is you can return any of the discard, anything from your discard pile into your hand. And so the abilities get more and more interesting, more and more powerful, the higher the numbers. Each turn you're going to select 2 of these cards secretly and place them down on the table. So let's say I choose these 2 and I keep these in my hand. When everybody's ready, we reveal. And I can reveal that I've played a 2 and a 4. Now they're put in order with the lowest number first. So this gives me a score of 24. If I've got the lowest, I'm going to go first. So now you see why playing lower cards might be beneficial. Play your siesta instead of your 2 and you get 0-4. That's a very low score. And it's often beneficial to go first. You're going to get first dibs on the pools of resources. Each turn more resources are put out in the middle. There'll be coins, these are 3s and these are 1s. You're going to be able to get workers with some of these cards. And the aim is, and across the centre of the board there are these rows of buildings, and the aim is to gather the right kinds of resources to pay for the buildings. So for example, this one needs 2 workers and a brown cube. Some of the cards let you delve into the bag of resources, and there's all sorts of different kinds of cubes that do different things, and you need different cubes for different to build different buildings. The grey ones are the most common, and they're debris, and you can get them, and some cards let you get debris. So there's a pool of these things, and then also you get to delve with certain cards. Each turn, after you've had your turn, you replace one of your cards. So you've got some information about what cards other people are going to play, so you might be able to beat them on the turn order. Finally, you have to leave the cards you've played on the table. You can't use them again next turn, but there are ways of picking them up. So it's a very interesting, easy to learn, different actions you can take. It's a lovely city builder. Havana. This is Citadels. Now, a word of warning, this can cause arguments. It does cause arguments in our house. So you have to pick the right time, and you have to pick the right group. The reason it causes arguments is because there's quite a bit of take that in it. And I don't mean the boy band. I mean that you're often increasing your own power by taking power from other people. So there is some conflict in it. In Citadels, there are, you have 8 different character cards, and these are, there are actually quite a lot in the box, but you always have cards 1 to 8. So you might not have these exact abilities, but I think these are the ones they suggest you start with. And at the beginning of each round, the person who is the king, that's one of these cards, the person who's the king on a round gets this crown, and they keep the crown until someone else steals it from them. So the king gets this permanent advantage, whilst they're the king, of being the first to pick from the deck of cards. So the king looks at the cards and says, right, I want to be this one this time, and they take it and put it face down, and they pass the cards on to the next player to their left, and it always goes clockwise from the king. So the player to the right of the king doesn't get a great deal. They might probably have 2 cards to choose from. Depending on the player count, it works slightly differently. And so each of these has special abilities. I've chosen the architect. On your turn, so you play in turn order, so the assassin, number 1, or whatever card number 1 you're playing, goes first. So you say, has anyone got number 1? And they reveal it, and they do their special power, and they have their turn. So the person, if they've got card 8, is going to go last. And you know that when you select the card, you know what the turn order is going to be. When on your go, you get to choose. You either take 2 cards, or you take 2 coins, or some of the powers let you do both, or let you get extra resources. And the aim of the game is to get coins to place cards in your city. So you're building a city in front of you. There are lots of different kinds of buildings. This is the fortress. It costs 5 coins. It's quite a high cost, and it's a military building. This is the tavern. It's now what do they call these? Oh, a trade building, and it only costs 1. You're trying to get the game ends when someone has 7 in their city, 7 different buildings in their city, and you're trying to you get bonuses if you have different kinds of types of buildings. So if you have some military buildings, some trade buildings, you get bonuses. So you're trying to place these different buildings in front of you, but other people might steal them from you. Other people might steal your money, might stop you having turns. There's quite a lot of combative moves, really. but it's a nice game, it's fun. If you can get around the arguments that can ensue, I recommend Citadels. And finally, Castles of Burgundy. It's a classic game, it's absolutely brilliant. It's one that, if I was going to choose any game I could play in an afternoon, and someone said it's totally your free choice, at the moment this is the one I'm picking more often than not. In Castles of Burgundy, each player has their own player board. They're quite flimsy actually, but it doesn't really matter. And there's a main board as well that goes in the centre of the table. On the centre of the board, there's all sorts of different kinds of tiles that get placed, and you're going to take these tiles, draft these tiles, and place them on your player board for you to use. So there's 4 different kinds of actions you can take. On your turn, you throw 2 dice, and the value of the dice determines what you can do. There's one action that you can do with any value, and that's to take more workers. Now the workers help you change dice value. So if you threw a 3 and you really wanted a 2, you could spend a worker and change the value of your dice. But that's an action you're going to resort to if you really can't do anything or there's nothing else you particularly want to do. But really what you're trying to do is you're trying to get these tiles and then place them on your board. So if you draw, so we're going to have all these different spaces are going to be filled, all these ones with numbers on. The numbers relate to how many players in the game, so it's a 2, 3 or 4 player game. And if you throw a number 4, you can take something from this section. If you throw a number 6, you can take something from this section. So that would be you using one of your dice. So if you throw a 6, you say, I'm taking this tile and I'm going to put it on my board. And you put it down here to save it. And then if you throw, if you get another number, a 4 or something, you could put that tile here. So one of the things you do is to take tiles from the main board, or you can use your dice throws to put them on the right dice number on your board. They also have to match colours. So there are 6 different types of tile. There are castles, named after the game, Castles of Burgundy, or what the game is named after. They're great because they give you an extra action straight away when you build a castle. There it goes. There are mines, there are ships, there are buildings. We've got a watchtower and a market here. And then there are some farmyards, so there's sheep and pigs. And then we have these yellow tiles which allow you to do special things. They might give you extra victory points at the end of the game. This gives you 4 points for every watchtower. Or they might allow you to do special things. This one allows you to, gives you a flexibility like playing a worker. So it allows you to add or subtract 1 from the dice throw when you're placing a certain type of tile. As you go through the game, you're going to build up your city or your domain, I suppose, within your board. And all sorts of different things are going to appear in these different areas. You score the regions, you get points for scoring your region. It's a real point salad game, so you are getting points in all sorts of different ways, and the scoring can get quite high. You get bonuses for being the first to finish a certain colour on your board. You're never going to finish the whole thing. You're probably going to get 2/3 to 3/4 of the way through it. It's a great game. I love it. Castles of Burgundy.